Ferris Bueller's Day Off from 1986 is my favorite film. This is a narrative film about a high school senior named Ferris Bueller as he decides to skip school for the day. One of the more unique aspects about this film is the breaking of the fourth wall that's done by Ferris. In his opening monologue, when he first addresses the audience and describes how he's going to skip the day, and throughout the film, during any major plot scene, or any time when he has something to say in relation to the action. The protagonist of the film, Ferris Bueller, takes his best friend and his girlfriend on a day in Chicago as they skip school to enjoy the sun. During the story, the action also cross-cuts to the vice principal of the school, Rooney, as well as Ferris' sister, Jeannie. The two of them are continually trying to stop Ferris / find out where he is so that he will get in trouble for skipping school. Ultimately, their goal is never accomplished as Ferris manages to get away and enjoy his day of fun without facing any repercussions. There is a recurring pattern in the film that each of the characters gets frustrated with at various times of how everything seems to work out for Ferris. One example of this is the parade scene in which Ferris sings Danke Schoen in front of a large parade of people and is the center of attention, while the scene cross-cuts to his dad in his office in the building right in front of the parade. This use of editing is used to create a suspense in that the audience thinks that Ferris will get caught by his dad, and yet again, his dad does not look as Ferris's parade passes right by him. Another major element of this movie is the car that Cameron, Sloan, and Ferris take on their day to Chicago. This car is Cameron's father's that they stole for the day, and that Cameron is very worried about as his father cares very deeply about the car, to the point where he knows the exact amount of miles on the car. Ferris's solution to adding more miles to the car was to drive it in reverse when they returned home from their trip. However, upon realizing that that isn't going to work, Cameron becomes incredibly frustrated and begins kicking the car. This is another use of cross-cutting in the film. During the scene, the camera cuts to the stand that's holding up the car, which is currently sat in reverse going backwards, and Cameron as it kicks the car, and the stand becomes less stable. This scene ends with Cameron kicking the car hard enough that the stand eventually falls down and the car zooms out the back window and down the hill. Although Ferris offers to take the blame for the crashed car, Cameron ultimately decides to take responsibility for it. This is just another example of how Ferris seems to get away with everything. Ferris then races home only to be discovered by Rooney. While it seems at this point our protagonist Ferris has no more outs and no more good luck in this situation, his sister decides to lie to Rooney and help her brother not get caught. Ferris then breaks the fourth wall once again to look into the camera and smile, as in the end, everything did work out for him, just as Cameron and everyone else complained about.